Alright guys, I'm gonna put this to bed right now. I know that some people are definitely asking to see who these sellers were. They're both being kicked out of eBay, by the way. Now this one is the one that came as universal, but the pictures I thought were doctored, right? That's how much I paid for the book. This is not including taxes and not including shipping also. But that's how much I paid for that book, and it came back an 8.5. I thought it was going to be, when you went into the description, it said definitely near mint plus, and the pictures did look like it was near mint plus. I bid as if it were between a 9.0 and a 9.2 though, and more in the lines of a 9.2 at the time, even though 9.2s were going for a little bit higher at the time, and this is in February. This was the seller, Diamond Comics. Now they had 11. I think they had more than that, but I guess when they deleted their account, eBay deleted their account, it must have I don't know, must have did something to their feedbacks. I don't know what happened there, but they had more feedbacks than that, if I can remember correctly. But it did look like a perfect copy. Comes back as an 8.5. I did tell them about it, that I didn't think it was near mint plus, that I would be lucky. I told them I'd be lucky if I got a 9.2 out of it, because of that mostly. But the book really is not that bad. It doesn't look that bad. It has a little bit of a miswrap, but it's a really good looking 8.5. Now, lucky for me, the 8.5 at that time was going for right around $1,000. It has since increased. There's been two recent sales at $13.99, like $1,400, but that's still not enough to cover my expenses. So it's still a bad deal for me, because it's, as you saw, the price is $14.90 plus the taxes. It was like $1,500 and change, and then you saw how much I paid for the grading and the pressing. Now this one's a little bit more. This one's a little. I'll show you a little bit more on that one. Okay. He has also been kicked out. That's the guy. J.I. Spurl, no longer a registered user. Okay. This is the letter. This is my last email. There's a whole bunch of emails that we exchanged. I exchanged with this dude. And this is the Galactus. Now, he did say in his listing that it was a 4.5. You know what? It came out as a 4.5. He just didn't say it was, did he know it was restored? Yeah, he must have known. But this is the last thing that I sent him, right? And I put his quotations in, what he wrote to me, I put it in quotation marks. I really don't want to sell my collection, but my ex-wife just passed away. I'm solely responsible for my daughter, who I only used to have every other weekend. Plus, I had a blood clot in my leg towards the end of December. This is one of the sob stories that he gave me. He also told me his daughter was sick. And he told me also, I'm a man of my word, and I wish no one to have any sort of ill will towards me. Then I wrote, these words that you wrote were the reason why I decided to drop the complaint against you and trust you at your I'm a man of my word. At this point, it's obvious there's no refund in sight. All right, so we had agreed that he would refund me. I only wanted $150, or I would just give him the entire book. And I even told him I would pay the shipping. I actually did tell him I would pay the shipping back to him because he was concerned about that. But nah, he didn't want to do that. and he wanted me to drop the complaint. So I put, at this point, it's obvious there's no refund in sight. I still hold no ill will towards you, Jim. Even though you are a scammer, I will still call eBay and on Monday to see if they'll reopen the case. The resolution department have access to these messages after all. If I can't reopen it, then I'm just hoping you didn't sell me a restored book as well. See, at that point I was thinking that maybe that glue that I thought was glue might be restoration. So I did put that in my last message to him. And I hope you didn't sell me a restored book. For $150 I keep my decency but look like a sap. For $150 you break your word but are certainly a con artist. We'll see if eBay allows this. What excuse will you have if they reopen the case? Karma, Jim. Karma's a real thing. Take care, man. If you ever had a blood clot, I hope they've dissolved it. If your ex-wife really died, I hope she's at peace. And if you really are a single dad, I hope you don't teach your daughter to be a scammer. That was the last words that I sent this guy, and I'll show it to you because he's no longer on eBay. You know, I don't even know if his real name is Jim. Probably not. Yeah, it's just a loss for me. At least he was right that it was 4.5. It's going to be less than that, I'm sure, after eBay, after CGC, takes care of that restoration. I found out that it's going to cost $60, so I'm going to send it in. But $60 is a lot more than $60 because now I'm gonna, after they remove that, I'm probably gonna have it repressed and regraded. So I'm looking, oh man, I'm looking probably at another $150 loss. And hopefully with the repress, it'll still come back at a 4.5. I doubt it, but if I get a blue label out of it, I'll be very happy. And a 4.0 at least, man. I mean, all right. So that's behind us. That's behind me already. Again, it was my fault because I had won this. I had won these. Well, I had won this one anyway. I had won. eBay ruled in my favor, and I dropped the complaint. You know, felt bad for the dude, and he was definitely scamming me. But I fell for it. Whatever. That's behind me. That's done, over. We keep moving on, and hopefully I'll have something good waiting for me in this box. And I wrote down the books that are in here. All right, and from the last video that I made on these books before we sent it in, and this was because of athletic style that I did the video. I graded them. This is my original grades for these books, right? And then the last two books were CGC already graded 9.0s that I had for decades, actually, at least 20 years that they've been graded. But I did, after looking at the videos, I actually agreed that I overgraded at least 3 books. So I'm going back on Fantastic Four Annual number 5. I'm dropping it from 3.5 to 4.0 to 3.0 to 3.5. And from Journey into Mystery, I'm dropping it 6.5 to 7.0. And definitely Marvel Superheroes number 20, dropping it 6.0 to 6.5. And let's see, more than likely, I mean, I don't know how much. If Gary can get, I'm not gonna hold Gary too much into this, all right? Because these were big time projects, guys. So I don't know how much better he can get these grades. I'm not expecting much, to tell you the truth. I'm not expecting these to go up much, but we will see. All right, time Okay, so I blindly took out the in the invoice. I don't want to show my address. We're gonna go with the first one, and let's concentrate on the book and let's see here. Come on, let's see which book this one is. All right, so let's look at this baby. Let's see what we're looking at first. Oh, okay. All right, so this is not a. Oh no, this is the the good one. This was graded already 9.0. All right, it was in an old case, and it was already graded 9.0. And I thought it could use a pressing and a cleaning. I was a little hesitant of sending it out because with books like this, you want CGC to kind of see the books. You see it too much where books do come back at lower grades that they don't see the book and you go through outside pressers. At a 9.0, it's not a very high value book, but it is the first appearance of the Abomination, which is one of the Hulk's greatest enemies. Let's see the grade. It was a 9.0. Oh. Can this week get worse, man? Can this get worse now? This is just bad. It's been a bad week, man. It's only, what is today? Today's Tuesday. Damnation! This week can't come to an end anytime soon. You know what? Gary cleaned this up really good, though. That's a freaking hell of an 8.5. Do they like 8.5s over there on CGC? Look at this. I mean, I'm feeling a little bit nervous about the rest of the books if this is an 8.5. Oh, damn. Lost the grade. I don't hold Gary accountable, by the way. Like I said, it's you know what? He cleaned this freaking thing super well. I actually thought that with a great cleaning, this would probably go up to like a 9.2. How the heck is this an 8.5, man? Well, maybe. But it was a 9.0. This is why I'm like, it's sometimes it's better that they see the grade, because if they see the grade, they, at least it'll probably come back as a 9.0. That's the way that I think anyway. But all right, so we start off with bad news. Let's see if the news get a little bit better here. Okay, let's look at the next one. All right, let's see what we're looking at here first. All right. Try not to look, guys. Try not to look. Oh, okay. This is Marvel Superheroes Superheroes Presents number 20, and this is the very first Doctor Doom story. This is his first storyline. I got this book from Mr. Lett. He said it was very fine to near mint. Now, Mr. Lett is a reputable seller on the YouTube boards, and I love the guy. He's one of my favorite sellers. He's definitely one of my favorite sellers. But when I got this book, I didn't think it was very fine to near mint. I did not let him know, though. If you look at the book, it certainly kind of does look like it's very fine to near mint. Still haven't seen the grade, by the way. I'm concentrating on this thing. But when you look at that corner right there, and we showed it, it definitely didn't look like this would be very fine to near mint. And then in the back, Gary pressed this so freaking well. You guys remember what we had here in the back? Oh my God, look at that. Right, this, I mean, he pressed this and he cleaned the hell out of this thing. This is a beautiful book now, besides that. And there was something by the middle staple. Let's see if he, oh, you know what? He kind of pressed a lot of that out. It's still a little bit of a ding on it. Not bad. So the biggest flaw now is on that top. This presser did a magnificent job, and there is the other thing that we saw. My grade was for this book, number 8, Marvel Superheroes 220. 7.0 to 7.5 is what I said on the video. I actually changed it to a 6.0 to 6.5 before sending it to him to the presser. And I see the book now. I see the grade now. I do see the grade now. Mr. Lett, yeah, baby. I mean, look, man, it wasn't very fine near mint. Wasn't very fine near mint. And after the press, it came back at an 8.5. You know what? Lett has improved his grading skills since then. I bought this book a few months ago from him. He has improved his grading skills. So I'm very happy with an 8.5 after the pressing. And I think Doral is helping him with grading nowadays. And I'm still always going to buy from Lett, you know. But now he's no longer going, oh, near mint. Like, I don't see him do that anymore. And that mostly I catch the auctions on replay because luckily I've been working a lot. But this is a very nice book at an 8.5. And definitely worth for what I paid for it. I paid for this book. Hold on a second. I paid $305 for that book, and it's definitely worth. I'm pretty sure it's worth a lot more than that at an 8.5. When he said very fine and near mint, I actually bid on it. I trust Lett, you know. I bid on it like if it was an 8.0. I always say, always bid lower than what the seller says, unless you trust the seller. I slightly, I was willing to go up to an 8.0 price on this. I thought I was gonna get a much lower grade, to tell you the truth. You know, because they undergraded me here, I'll take this. I mean, the book, like I said, you know, a lot of times when the book looks this freaking bright and beautiful, sometimes it's maybe they might overlook a little thing like that, just a little bit. Let's go to the next one, guys. Let's go to the next one. All right, you know what? So far, 2 books. One came back less. One came back. Oh, okay. Here's one. Journey into Mystery. And this is on 112, obviously. First real fight between Thor and the Hulk. Now, they had fought in Avengers, but they didn't show the full fight. And this is a book that I've had, and I've always loved this book. I also have another book like this somewhere, raw, but I sent this one in. All right, so this one we said, let's look at the back. And yeah, this is the one. This one had a lot of foxing. You know, again, Gary cleaned this baby to, oh my gosh, he cleaned this. He cleaned this baby so well. Yeah, that was already there. Remember all the foxing that was up on the top here? He cleaned the hell out of this thing. You know what? This guy is worth every freaking penny, man. I sent them another a 25 book lot, a modern tier. Alright, so let's look at the grade that we said. I said at the time, Journey to 112, 7.0 to 7.5. After seeing the video, I said this was probably around a 6.5 to a 7.0. Let's see what it comes back as. 7.0. I will take it. 7.0 is a very respectable grade for this baby. This is a book from 1965, guys. This is a historic battle. And this is all Kirby. Beautiful. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Let's go to the next one. Oops. Oh, I hate taking the plastics off. Especially when you're trying not to look at the freaking grade. Alright, let's go here. Alright, so this one's not a key. This one's just mainly because of the cover. This one I sent in mainly because of the cover. And this one was a book that I got as a double. I got this from Ref. It was 2 book lot. Yeah, remember the numbers? 2854, 1864. They don't gig you for that. I'm sure they probably gig you in the grade, but they don't really gig you for that. Yeah, this was a very pretty looking book. I remember Ref said that this was around very fine to near mint. It did clean it up pretty nice. I just like the cover because it was Doom and Namor. And let's look at what I said it was when I left. When I left, I said it would be 7.0 to 7.5 on the video. And this is before the pressing, and now it comes back to 7.5. 7.5. Again, I'll take that because these books they weren't in the best condition, but that's still a very nice looking cover, you know. And let's see how much I paid for that baby. I paid for that. It was 2 books, 3 books, 3 books. Tales to Astonish 91, Submariner 20, and Submariner 37. It was only $104 that I spent on the 3 books. Tales to Astonish number 1 is still going to be in here. I don't know what the value for this book is, but I'm thinking of keeping this in my collection anyway because I just love the cover, you know. Definitely love the cover. 69. All right, that's very nice. Ref actually tends to undergrade his books actually, so I'm a bit surprised that it actually came back at a 7.5. I thought it, maybe with the pressing it could come back a little higher, but it is what it is. Alright, this one is definitely Conan. I got this from Mr. Lett as well, and he said that this is a mid-grade. He actually did say this was a mid-grade book, and I agree with that assessment. It had some spine wear, which you could still see. See that right there? Ooh. We saw these books. We saw these books in that video. But Gary did again, I mean, the guy does great work. Guy does great work, man. Definitely going to be sending him more stuff. Definitely. We said Conan #1. I said it was a 6.0 to a 6.5 when it left me, and I see the grade 6.0 white pages. I paid for that book from Mr. Lett $135, and this is well worth it. This is well worth it for a mid-grade book, and he was right. Mid-grade book, 6.0. You know, absolutely right. Very happy with this grade. Very happy. Let's go to the next one. I actually think that's worth a lot more at a 6.0. Might look for alright, might look at values next. You know what, I probably will look for values and tell you guys what the values are. Alright, so this is going to be the Man Thing #1. This was a 9.0, and this was already graded by CGC 9.0. Had this book again for like over 20 years, really. And that's when I had it graded. I did not show this book. This book needed a cleaning. Hopefully they don't do the same thing that they did on the other 9.0. But once again, he went off on this freaking thing. He went wild on it. That's freaking white. Definitely wasn't that white. It was an old label too. Beautiful, beautiful job cleaning this thing. This better be higher. This needs to be higher. This needs to be a 9.4, man. I see the grade. 9.2. 9.2. Full grade upgrade. Nice. You know, this deserves to be higher than that. No offense, CGC, but this definitely deserves like a 9.4 at least. Barely see much. Barely see many. Maybe on the back towards the staples you might see a little bit, but barely see any defects on this thing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh man, I'm happy so far. No, this is a change from yesterday. Oh. Alright, so let's look at oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. Big one, big one. This Fantastic Four Annual #6. This is the first Annihilus. First Reed Richards, Mr. Overpowered himself. And this is a big book. This is a big book. I believe I got this. I'll tell you, I think I got this from Lett also. Yeah, I did get this from Lett. This was a lot that I got from Lett. Annual #5 and annual #6. $280 from Lett. $280. Lett did say this was a mid-grade book. All right. And I agree with that assessment. Now, I said this book would be, okay, this is annual 5, where's annual 6? I said this book left me at a 6.0 to a 6.5. That's what I said then. And remember that these were the spots. This is from the way that they cut it and stuff, and the wrap. We did see this, but this was pressed and cleaned beautifully, beautifully. This is a 60s, mid-60s book. And what do I say about books? What I like, that the colors pop. You want those colors to pop, and those colors pop, man. Square bounds. Square bounds are so hard to get in high grade. Look at the back. Again, hard to clean. You know what? Gary cleans them better than CCS. I'll give Gary that for sure. Look at that. He you know what? He did a nice job pressing it too, man. Let's go to look at the grade. Look at the grade. Now I see the grade. Bam! 7.0. Again, I said this left me at a 6.0 to a 6.5. That was right. Mid-grade. Mid-grade. Mr. Lett. This is why he's one of my favorite sellers. This is why. Alright. Let's look at this one. Now this one is... Oh, here's the other one. Okay, so this one is the freebie that I got from Lett. And that was the freebie with the Fantastic Four, because it was a lot. $280 for the lot of Fantastic Four annuals 5 and 6. This was a mess. Remember how bad, dirty this was? Look at what he did to this, man. Oh my God. Oh, I encourage you guys to go and see that video. I'm going to see if I can put the link on the bottom here of this video. But I encourage you guys to go and see that video and check out how these books looked before. Okay, and then you'll see my grades. Now this he couldn't do anything about. This was a split. So I said it was probably about an inch, more likely about an inch and a half split on the bottom. The cover is attached though. Staples were attached, and the interior was beautiful. The back was a mess. The back was a mess, just like the front was. And my goodness gracious, Gary just worked some freaking magic on this thing. Gary Kendra, guys. This is Gary Kendra. Oh man. I don't think he watches anything on YouTube, but if he ever does watch, yeah, I gotta give him props. I'm gonna put his link also down. It's Impressive Comics. Gary Kendra. He's based out of New York. This guy is a freaking genius. Alright, I said that this book left me on the video. This is one of the books that I definitely changed my mind on. I said it was a 3.5 to a 4.0 when it left me. Then I saw the replay and I said, what the hell am I thinking? That's freaking lower. And I said it would be, left me at a 3.0 to a 3.5. And Mr. Kendra, wow, that's a 4.0 on this book. I mean, that's, you know, this is the first solo of the Silver Surfer. This is the reason why I wanted it graded. It's from 1967, guys. 1967. You know, did they put first solo? Oh yeah, they did put it. First solo, Silver Surfer story. There it is. Quasimodo. That's why I wanted it. First solo. This is a very underrated book. Surfer comes out, it won't be underrated anymore. This is one of the books that, you know, as a speculator, it's a super cheap book. You want it, you know, if you want it, this is, if you're a surfer fan, this is when you want to get it. This is when you want to get it. I'm probably going to go after a high grade one as well. Alright, go to the next one. This is a little awkward doing this. Ooh, okay. Yes, this is from Ref again. Alright, so again, this one was one of the 3 books that I got from Ref. For 100, what did we say it was? 100 and 104 bucks, I think it was. Looking at it right now, 104. All right, now we saw Submariner number 20, and now we're seeing this one. And Ref said that this, I believe he said that this was mid-grade. I do believe that he said this was mid-grade. He might have said it was higher mid-grade, but I'm almost positive that he said it was mid-grade. Never had a problem with Ref though, ever. Ref, like I said, is one of those guys that I think he tries to undergrade his books. This certainly looks a lot better also than what it left me. Second appearance of the Abomination. This one will go hand in hand with number 90. Alright, and what did we say that this was? Tales to Astonish, 91. I said it left me at a 7.0 to a 7.5 is what I said in the video. And Mr. Kendra, 8.5. Look at that. From my grading, that I count the lowest grade. 7.0. From a 7.0, this guy, that's 3 full grades that this guy improved on this book. Now I have the pair. Now yeah, sure, this one went down in grade, but I got the matching pair, 8.5s here. And again, he did the man thing went up in grade also. So this one went down, the other one went up. Wow. But so far, I mean, I'm so happy with these. Super happy with these so far. I got the last one, so the last one's gonna be definitely the Thor hymn, which is Warlock. Now for Warlock, we said, where is that Warlock? The first one. I said it left me at a 5.5 to a 6.0. That's what I said. All right, this one had that giant crease going across the middle, if we remember correctly, and on the bottom, oh man, you know what, that crease is still, you know, sometimes, like I said, even the pressing, sometimes you could actually see a little bit. Yeah, you could see that crease. You know, when it got pressed, it broke color on the press. Hey, those are the breaks. You know, left it alone and it didn't break color on the video. Now he cleaned the hell out of this thing. Cleaned the hell out of this thing. That's the back. So I'm assuming that it's going to break color here too. No, it did not break color here. And you can't even notice that. Let me see if you can notice it on... Nah, man, you can't even notice it. And you can still see. And he pretty much cleaned off those thumbprints. Yeah, see that? That's where that crease was coming down. Oh, you can see the crease. Okay, so it broke color here. Crease broke color a little bit, right? Yeah, definitely. That's where it broke the color on. Beautiful book. Pops. Definitely pops. Got this book from... Who did I get this book from? Thor. Man, did I freaking write this down? Hold up. I think... Was this my book? Hold on one second. Okay, this was another book from Ref. He claimed it was mid-grade as well. $205 on this book. $205 is what I paid for this book. And again, he said it was mid-grade. Obviously, I agreed. Now, mid-grade is, subjective, because it can be, 4.0 to, well, that's lower mid-grade though. But usually I would say 4.0 to a 7 is around the mid-grade. See the grade, 4.5. This was harshly graded. Holy crap. This has got to be the best looking 4.5 I've ever seen. This is definitely the best looking 4.5 I've ever seen. Look at it. Give me a 4.5 that looks better than this, man. Show me a 4.5 that looks better than this. My restored Fantastic Four doesn't look this freaking good, and that's a 4.5 restored. Still good for that grade though. This was a very good for me. This was very good for me. I needed a break. So I think the only two disappointments really are the 9.0 that came as a 8.5 and the Thor 165, which I don't understand how that's a 4.5. I said it left me as a 5.5 to a 6.0, but yeah, but overall this was great. 10 books. Definitely I'll be in the black on this for a fact, and probably big in the black. I'm gonna do the calculations, be right back, and I'll have the numbers. Okay, so here's the almighty numbers. This is what we care about, right? These are not gonna look impressive. They're not gonna look impressive, but to me they are. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. First off, this is how much I paid CGC. So the CGC grading for the 10 books and the shipping to me came out to $253. Gary's pressing and shipped to CGC was $178. My shipment to Gary was around $30. I think it was $28 though. I have the receipt, but I rounded it off to $30. And that's a total of $461. There were 10 books. So the total that I paid to get all of these slabbed and pressed is $46.10. That's a vast improvement from CGC, sending them. When I send books to CGC on the value tier, this is only for 4 books now, so the shipping is more, but the average on the 4 books for CGC, and this is for those books, and that's the one that came restored. But the average, that was $58.70 per book versus $46.10. Vast improvement, right? So that's that. So these are the values. Now, like I said, this is not going to look impressive, but I want you to think about this. Thor 65. Obviously, we didn't know the grades, right? I didn't know what grades they were going to get. You buy a book that is raw, you're taking a chance, right? So when you bid, that's why I always say bid lower. This is a YouTube auction. The good thing about the YouTube auctions is that you're not paying taxes, right? And you're paying shipping, but you're also not paying taxes. That's huge, right? Even though, it would benefit me to get an IG account. I don't have an IG, but we're very private people here. That's why I don't show my face, but that's the reason why I don't have IG. It would benefit me to see these books, because I would stop at a certain if I'm able to see the book closer, in an actual picture instead of like a screen on YouTube, I would bid more accordingly. I wouldn't overbid like I'm doing. But having said that, it's still going to pay off, and I'll show you how. Thor 165. I paid $205. This is the worst. This was the worst out of the whole group, though. Plus $46.10. That's the grading, the slabbing fee, right? Comes out my cost at $251.10. The last 2 sales in 2020 for that book were $195 and $219. I'm putting the fair market value at $200 on that book. So you would think that I'm losing, right? However, if you were the person that paid, I'm gonna go with the low end, $195 on that book. You're also gonna pay taxes on eBay. If you're buying it on eBay, and most of these sales are on eBay, you're going to pay taxes on eBay, and you're going to pay shipping. So guess what? Your final fee is going to come close to around $251. I probably overpaid a little bit based on that fee, but that's my final cost, $251 for that book. Now, I was planning on, if it came back at a much higher grade, say an 8.0, I would have probably sold it. But I was also thinking about keeping a book like that. I actually thought that was the best book that I had. I probably have a better book than that, because that's a 4.5. I'm not even going to count the Tales to Astonish 90, because that's a book that I've had for a while. So I don't have much into that book. So that's going to be mostly profit for me. But the Tales 91. And remember, I'm going to be counting the Submariner 20 on that as well. I paid $104 for both books, plus slabbing them at $92.20. That's a total cost for me at $196.20. Now, the Tales 91 last 2 sold for $195 and $175. I'm going to call that, as a matter of fact, you know what? That's what it was here. 91 came out at an 8.5. There hasn't been a sale on an 8.5 on that since 2018. So that a 9.0 sold for $195 and $175 this year. An 8.0 sold for $128. Last 4 sales, $99, $96, and $135. I'm going to say that the fair market value for for that is 155 to 160, because it's going to fall right in the middle of those two numbers. So I'm going to say 155 to 160. On the Submariner, there are no sales on that Submariner as well. An 8.0 sold for $70 in February of this year. So I'm going to say that the fair market value on that is probably around $65 to $70 as well, for the Submariner 20. Now keep in mind again, if I were to have paid $155 just for the tails, right, I would have also had to pay taxes and shipping, and it would have definitely took me into the $200 range. So I'm still kind of up on that. And these are books that a catalyst will shoot them up. Conan 1, that one I did a lot better on. Paid $135 plus 46, comes out to $181. Last three sales on that is $255, $280, and $275. So if I was looking to buy that book, that's a big time bargain to pay $181 on that book, because if I would have paid any one of those prices right there, it would have been more. It would have cost me into the $300 range, more than $300. Fair market value on that book right now is right around $280, I would say, even though you can sell it for $288. But I would say fair market value on that is $280, and that's my fair market value, by the way. I'm just counting numbers on this. Fantastic Four Annual number 6. This is a book that is hot right now, and it's going to keep getting hotter. I paid $280 for 5 and 6. $92.20 for the slabbing on both books. Comes out to $372.20 for both books that I paid for both books to get them both slabbed. Last 4 sales on Annual number 6, $362, $395, $399, and $400. I'm putting the fair market value on that book alone at $385 right off the bat, because I'm keeping that book and I'm speccing on it. I've done so much better on that, because I'm keeping that book to hold, right? So if I would have bought it for $385, it would have took me well into the $450 range with the shipping and the taxes, just for that book alone. And I get Fantastic Four Annual number 5 first solo Silver Surfer for free, and that's only got a value right now of $40 to $50. Guys, it is imperative, if you're into comic books, you're a young man, you need to get this book right now, probably in a much higher grade, because it is super cheap. First solo Silver Surfer story, a book from 1967. If there's ever a must-have book in the Silver Age that's cheap, it's this one. I am gonna be bidding against you guys, though, if I find something that's affordable. I'm not trying to sell this, by the way. I'm keeping this. I'm just saying that I'm getting more of those. That's probably going to become my next hoarding book, more than likely. I mean, I'm looking at prices, and these prices are not making sense of why they're not. That book is not increasing, right, in value. Once Silver Surfer hits, that book is going to shoot, and it's going to shoot up. Okay, here's another book that's going to shoot up. Marvel Superheroes Presents number 20. Paid $305 for that book. Oh man, I didn't do the numbers. Damnation, I didn't do the numbers on that. All right, so $305 plus the $46, you're looking at $351. Why didn't I do the numbers on that? All right, you're looking at $351 with the slabbing. So that's my cost is $351. The last 3 sales on that was $312, $350, and $385. So I am saying that the fair market value on that is $350. So at $351, I did very well, because $350 again with taxes and shipping would have went well into the $400 range. So that's the way that I'm looking at this. All right, is it spectacular numbers? No, it's not. But when you're looking at Silver Age books here, all right, these are Silver Age. These are books that a lot of these books that people want. I didn't include this book because this is a book that I had, so I'm not including this book in it because I didn't buy it from YouTube auction. Right, so the books that I didn't buy from YouTube auctions, I didn't include. These are just so you know what, a Ref versus Lett. This was Ref versus Lett, and Lett won because I got the better deals on the Lett books. But anyway, that's the video for today, guys. It's a lot better video than yesterday's video, and that's what matters. This is a gorgeous book, very high on this book. First solo, Dr. Doom, 1969. This book is another book that's going to keep rising, in my opinion. All right, have a great night, guys. Tomorrow we open the 50 books on modern tier, and hopefully things are gonna get even better. Modern should be better, has to be better. Okay, but this was good. Hey, you know, not spectacular numbers, but it was good, and it was great for me.